Hello, welcome to Culture Mix by Art for a Reason. My name is Blessing Azubike, the Chief Advocate to some of you. Today, we're at the Wunika Mukan Gallery for the In the Quiet of Repair, an exhibition of works by Ojooluwatide Ojo.
Hello, my name is Ojooluwatide Ojo. I'm a multidisciplinary artist practicing here in Lagos at this time. I've been working as an artist for about 4 years now, and this is my second solo exhibition in Lagos, here at the Wunika Mukan Gallery. So this project was inspired by my home, my history, the generations that came before me. So I'm growing up in my grandfather's house. He built this house, and I'm watching as this place and the houses around it are constantly changing and being redeveloped. And in a way, our house is one of the few that is remaining standing in its oldness, in its evolution, with everything going around. The house is still holding on to so much history. And I'm also growing, so I'm guessing that as I grow and as I begin to let go of who I am now, this body of work is serving as a way to process that, to decide what I'm taking with me as I become a different version of myself. I'm watching the way that I've grown, I've been brought up. I'm trying to decide what works for me moving forward and what doesn't. But in doing so, I've taken walks, I've looked around my house, my home, the compound, and my family, and I guess I'm trying to understand our relationships and how that is evolving as well. With the home, with each other, how do we maintain our identity as we all try to evolve into better versions of ourselves, and how do we relate with each other as we do this, and with ourselves, how do you reconcile these different parts of yourself as you try, and develop an even better version of yourself. So that's what is kind of pushing this body of work.
My name is Wetalu Obi, and I have come for the In the Quiet of Repair workshop titled Collecting Yourself. And I am so deeply in love with Ojooluwatide's work. I think she's such a phenomenal artist, and her work inspires so much intimacy and thought and attention to detail. And I'm looking forward to the workshop because this particular collection is very introspective and very healing, and I'm looking forward to what it uncovers in my life and my psyche, and what I'm holding so dear to my heart that I haven't brought to the surface yet. I feel like the work is going to really uncover parts of my life and what I like and what I don't like. And I think she's literally looking at me right now. I think she's such a star, and I can't wait to get into stuff. Painting, threading.
In today's Nigeria, today's Lagos, every house is, not every house, but lots of houses are white, grey and black, square. And I take walks and I just feel a bit lost, I guess. So also living in this old house, I feel somehow grounded and somehow connected to my culture and to my identity. And so I'm trying to hold on to that as long as possible without being held back, just as a growing woman. A little bit more, I also had to take a lens, but I had to basically also look at my mother's relationship with herself. As a woman, I have to watch my mother. I've looked at her relationship with herself, with the home, her father's house, with herself, and how she also relates with us, her children, and how that is forming just, this little piece of Lagos, as we spread. And art for me is, I might as well go all in or go all out. I've decided, and I always decide in my work, to attack head on or to challenge head on the parts of us that we are kind of scared to talk about. Because you can't talk about it, so I might as well paint it. We might as well, it has to come out. We have to process these things, and I guess this is how I process these things. You know, it's a vulnerable process. It really is, but it's an important process for me personally to develop, because art is what I have. I don't write, so I paint.
Hi, my name is Wunika Mukan, and I'm the director of the Wunika Mukan Gallery. We're based in Lagos, Nigeria. So this exhibition, In the Quiet of Repair, is a solo show by Ojooluwatide Ojo, amazing local artist who I ran into her exhibitions just locally in the city, and she just really struck me as a very warm and thoughtful artist. And and she's shown more of that with this exhibition, In the Quiet of Repair, and it's just a very intimate and warm story about her family, her mother, her sisters, all grew up in this house built by her grandfather. So this house becomes sort of like the subject and the setting, and it's just a very familiar yet contemporary, quirky but still very African story about a family and about architecture and about tradition and about inheritance and about memory and the future.
I started with bottles. My sisters were in the arts, photography, film, fun. Lagos was a fun place for artists before, and we were free to experiment and just try things. And that's when I started with bottles, and I used to paint with my hands. And in doing that, in freely expressing yourself, especially on the internet, because that's what we have, you have the confidence to do a little bit more, go a little bit further, try something new. And as an artist, it's a bit I think it's like self-sabotage to not try and continue to try and do a bit more. And I think I set out that, hey, I want to do art, and people took me seriously because I took myself seriously. In terms of my voice and the story that I'm telling, I have a few mentors, and you need mentors. Just, it's important. They just help you reinforce who you are. And I don't think you can create from who you are not. So the most important thing that I remind myself is to paint what I know. Collecting yourself is the very simplified version of what we're doing here today. It's the simplified version of the body of work itself. It's taking a piece of, it's reflecting on where you've been, what has made you, making that tangible, manifesting into that, and then kind of like putting that out into the universe simply by creating something out of it. Yeah, allowing yourself to dream from somewhere. And I think that's what this workshop is going to do for us. If we come with open hearts, we can, it's just a break from also living in Lagos. Lagos is so choppy and so fast. And so even arts for me is just a place and a time to slow down, zone out, zone in to yourself, reflect, relax, breathe, think, collect yourself, and then take that and move forward with that. That's my hope for this workshop. That's my hope for people collecting themselves today. It can be really hard to try and maybe try new things or different things, but the whole point is just trying. And I think that's all I want to say. I think, yeah, just trying. So good. Yay. Cheers. All right.
To be very honest with you, because of the type of artist Tide is, which is somebody who is constantly working on her practice, improving, constantly questioning herself and editing herself, I really didn't have to do so much with this exhibition. She already sort of is telling the story with each work. So really what we had to do was just sort of create the environment where the viewer can come in and immediately feel the warmth and the nostalgia that she's talking about. I mean, throughout the exhibition, you can see she highlights different family members and the different rooms, and you're able to see the different architecture. And throughout the exhibition, you're also able to experience it with a little bit of installation that can allow you to reflect and think and collect yourself. And so, yeah, I mean, this is a type of artist that really, you don't have to do so much, but just create the platform for her to tell the story, and she's beautifully done that. I think sometimes you hear this conversation that, people are tired of Black portraiture and this and that, but, you know, as a friend of mine said one time, if you count up all the Black portraits, it still will not equate to the number of white Jesus portraits and paintings that are out there. I think it is important to see yourself in portraiture. And so it's also very important for Black people to see themselves in portraiture. And I don't think that anyone should try and bully us out of the subject matter or out of wanting to reflect ourselves. So, you know, I really very much enjoy that today these are portraits that we're showing, but she goes further as to, you know, if you look closely, she's weaved on top of the canvas. And so there's also an added element of texture to the paintings. And I just think that it's very important for us to tell smart stories, to elevate high quality thoughts. And I think that she captures all of this. And not only that, she allows us to see ourselves. She allows us to see our own stories. It's not westernized. It looks very familiar, and it's not overdone or underdone. It's just truthful storytelling. Life is intense, and we're all going through doing all the things that we need to do to be successful, checking off all the things, eating right, trying to stay healthy. These routines, sometimes it's good for us to come out of our cells and our responsibilities, collect ourselves, collect our memories, collect our thoughts and our hopes and our visions. And it allows us to feel present, which in turn allows us to feel grateful and plan the future. And really, whatever you want, whatever you're chasing will come true for you if you're consistent enough. So I think workshops like this allow you to take time out of yourself, to collect yourself, and so you can pour back into yourself. And then when you're guided by the artist who has done an exhibition like this, which is basically a more extended version of that, it's just a good guide to help us collect ourselves, which just makes the world a better place. If I had 3 words, it would be tender. It would have to be 4. Tender and intimate, non-pretentious, and honest.